All right, and then we're going to head into the final stretch here. Give you a couple of updates about what's happening in the Greenwood County Democratic Party. So a couple of random updates. Let's see here. First, I want to talk about Jamie Harrison. It was alluded to earlier that Denise had outraised her opponent. So has Jamie Harrison, and it's really caught national attention. He raised more than $13 million, almost $14 million in the last quarter, 3-month period. That nearly doubled what he raised in the first quarter of this year. So you talk about momentum. Jamie Harrison has got the momentum. Lindsey Graham, on the other hand, was only able to muster 8.4 million compared to Jamie's 13.9 in that second quarter. Now, money is not the same thing as votes, and we certainly cannot get complacent and sit back and say he's got it in the bag. I made calls on his behalf earlier this week. We're going to be doing more mailings. We're going to be coordinating with Jamie Harrison's campaign. In fact, his campaign and the South Carolina Democratic Party are joined at the hip to where the volunteerism, everything is being coordinated. You'll hear something called the coordinated campaign. Mr. Nico Brown referred to it at the beginning of this session. That's what she's talking about. She's talking about the fact that Jamie Harrison and the South Carolina Democratic Party are 100% coordinated, working with similar staff, having regular meetings together, avoiding duplicate efforts, and this type of efficiency and coordination is unparalleled, and we're really expecting the best. So congrats to Jamie Harrison and his campaign. Just as a reminder, we do have yard signs still available. If you want one, please contact us at that email address, info@gwccountydems.org, or you can call 864-715-2341. We received a batch of 100 yard signs, and we are giving them out for free, so you don't have to pay for them. Another candidate that is running is our congressional candidate for SC3, and that's Mr. Hosea Cleveland. Want to let you know that he is active on Twitter. It's probably his most active platform at the moment. So if you are a Twitter user, follow him at Cleveland Hosea. He will be interviewed by our first vice chair, Michael Gaskin, on the radio, July 26th, 1 p.m. Michael's on Rejoice 1090 a.m. So you can tune in, or you can even listen online. I put the link here in the notes, and everybody will get a copy of these notes after the meeting. I'll send that out as part of our email newsletter. So I encourage you to tune in and hear Mr. Gaskin and Mr. Cleveland hammer it out on the political issues that face South Carolina and our nation. Our postcard campaign, we have to date sent out 1,500 postcards. You can see a copy of what that postcard looks like there. The reason why I bring this up again, because I know we talked about it last month, but we did something new in the past month to try out a new method of sending postcards. Our traditional method has been to print them at home on stock we bought at the store using printer ink, peeling and labeling addresses as well as stamps, and doing it in a very manual fashion. And that has been good, and we appreciate the efforts of all of our volunteers. But what we did new last time is we used an auto mailer, a third-party firm where we can upload addresses and upload the graphic design of the postcard, and they handle everything else. They print, they stamp at a discount rate, they mail it out on our behalf, and we sent out 250 cards a couple of weeks back, and they looked great, much more professional looking, a lot less labor, and at the end of the day, it was at the same cost per postcard. So this sets us up to do some mass mailing campaigns, not just for postcards, but for brochures and flyers and posters and other mailings. We can go through this firm and just have it done automatically in a more professional and efficient manner. So that was an exciting development, and we look forward to utilizing that more in the future. Another big piece of news, in case you missed it, deals with absentee balloting. Now, in June, that was a big story because the South Carolina Democratic Party filed a lawsuit to remove the reason criteria for absentee ballots. And because we were in the midst of the COVID and still are, anybody could absentee ballot without any cause. So that was available to all people. I was one that took advantage of absentee balloting just to try it out. and it worked great. But the court said that that would be for the primaries only. So for the general election, it goes back to the old rules. But one difference is that this time around, the state will provide prepaid postage for absentee ballots to be mailed in. Before, you had to cough up your own stamp or two to mail it in. This time, that dime is on the state. So that is a great step forward. However, the old rules of needing to fill out a reason why, reasons being health, job, or you'll be out of town, or you're even a poll worker. You know, there's a list of maybe 13 or 14 reasons that you have to choose from. That still is in effect. Now, when the legislation comes back in September, I believe, they are tasked with deciding whether to make that, to remove that restriction for the November election. And at the rate that our COVID spread is going and our hospitals being overburdened, who knows? It may become a very important point in the future. So stay tuned for that. And as that ruling comes in September, we will be sure to let everybody know. But for those of you who would normally vote absentee, I encourage you, file for an absentee ballot now. Get that out of the way. As you know, the Trump administration is starting to slash the U.S. Postal Service funding, and they're cutting back on delivery, and we're going to be seeing some service degradation as a result. So it's going to be more important than ever that you get absentee ballots in as early as possible, and not wait even a week before. May not be enough time. You want to get it in several weeks ahead of time once that becomes available. That you can apply for one now, and we encourage you to do so. We've been ramping up our social media. So for those of you that are data junkies like myself, I wanted to share some results. I track week by week our various social media accounts. Our email list subscribers have jumped up. So has our Facebook followers. So have our Twitter followers, extraordinarily popular on Twitter for some reason. And our Instagram followers have also been seeing a steady increase. What does that mean? That means our message and communications are getting out there. It's growing and spreading. And that's a good thing. So by all media necessary, whether it's through Zoom like this, whether it's through emails, whether it's through Facebook or Twitter, we want to make sure we get our message out and be engaged in the discussion and inform people about their rights and the issues that are of concern to all. And I just wanted to share some of the success that we've been having just in the last 2 months. This goes back to the beginning of May, and here we are mid-July, and we're seeing some good numbers across the board. So this is the part where, you know, as the chair, one of my responsibilities is to make sure that we have a healthy balance in our bank account as a party, where we take the funds that have been donated by you through our various fundraisers or through direct donations and put it to good use. As you can see on this screen, we use that money very judiciously and I think very efficiently. A $10 donation, if you were to make it to our party, can cover for us either 20 postcards, 30 door hangers. It can help print 15 trifold brochures. We're going to have a new voter's guide come out as soon as Joe Biden selects a running mate. We'll be ready to print a new trifold brochure. It can help us print 167 business cards or help with the cost of a newspaper ad or even a piece of a billboard. So your money is put to good use. There really is no other expense other than for these things that we use to help all candidates. We understand that during an election year, you're getting hit up by a lot of candidates to help fund their campaigns directly, and we certainly encourage you to do so. We can think of no better use for your money. But if you're looking to have a dollar get spread out across all candidates and across the Democratic cause entirely, ask you to consider donating to the Greenwood County Democratic Party. We don't have our monthly in-person breakfast meetings where we pass the hat, nor have we been able to have fundraisers this year. So we're going to ask you to either go to our Act Blue account, which I list there in the bottom left portion of the screen, or mail a check to our P.O. Box, and that's to the Greenwood County Democratic Party, P.O. Box 73, Greenwood 29648. So we thank you. We'll take that $10 and certainly put it to good use. Now, I want to thank the efforts of Charles Lewis, our former chair. And by the way, I hear his birthday is today, so happy birthday, Mr. Lewis, if you happen to see this video. He's put us in pretty good financial shape, so we do have a healthy bank account to spend, but we want to make sure that we have enough and leave nothing on the table. We don't want to have an overflowing bank account come the end of this election period. We want to put it all to good use and get out the word to our county, encourage voters to get out and vote and educate them on our candidates. And if you can't afford to donate or you want to participate in other ways, we certainly still have some volunteer opportunities. Fundraising director is still an open position if you want to help with fundraising ideas and help April with her dinner campaign, and as well as help fundraise through other creative endeavors. A new position that I'm opening up is a communications director. Now, the communications director will help with the website, help with Zoom meetings like this. As you see, it's kind of tough to run a Zoom meeting and open people's videos and unmute lines while trying to talk at the same time. A communications director would be really handy to help out with that. But also help with print media, as well as be a phone tree organizer. Speaking of phone trees, we're at a position where we want to set up a phone tree branch leads group where people adopt 10 phone numbers, and whenever we need to get a message out, whether it's an upcoming meeting or a candidate fundraiser event or something along those lines, we would like a branch lead to own 10 phone numbers and make 10 calls or send 10 text messages to help spread the word to those who may not be on Facebook or be on email distribution lists. So if you are interested, please let us know. And then finally, a campaign liaison would be a dedicated individual on behalf of the Greenwood County Democratic Party to be coordinated with Denise's campaign, to be coordinated with Senator Nicholson's campaign, Hosea's campaign, and Jose's campaign. So, in fact, maybe even Matthew Miller when his campaign begins, as he runs again for the city council. So, if you're looking to be a liaison and be a dedicated communication point between our party and the candidate, please let me know as well. So at this point, it's an open forum Q&A. If you are still watching us on Facebook Live and you have any questions, feel free to type them into the chat window. At this moment, I'm scanning our comments and I don't see any questions. So as always, if you do have any direct questions, feel free to contact us either on Facebook, Twitter, email, or you can call me directly. I will be absolutely thrilled to help answer. At this point, we will call an end to our second virtual breakfast meeting. I thank you very, very much for your time and look forward to working with everybody again in the future. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. Bye-bye.